2/3 of gym members rarely or never use their membership. Not occasionally, not once in a while, just never. That is $1.3 billion a year vanishing quietly from millions of bank accounts month after month for access to a building most people stopped visiting around mid-February. The average American pays $69 a month to not exercise. And the gym is completely fine with that. Here is how you sign up. You walk in, swipe a card, and you are done. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes online. Here is how you cancel at Planet Fitness, the largest gym chain in the country. You drive to the gym, in person, during business hours, or you mail a certified letter to your home club. One woman signed up at a Planet Fitness in Rhode Island, moved to Virginia, and was told she would need to drive 500 miles back to the original location just to cancel. The FTC literally cited this case when they finalized a new consumer protection rule in 2024. That is how bad it had to get before regulators stepped in. This was never an accident. It was the business model all along. The U.S. gym industry pulls in over $35 billion a year. 64 million Americans hold a membership, and the average commercial gym is physically sized for a few hundred people at once. So if every member actually showed up on the same day, the building would not just be crowded, it would be a disaster. Gyms know this. They plan for it. A typical gym sells memberships to roughly 8 to 10 times more people than can fit inside at once. That is not a mistake. That is the entire strategy. The model only works if most of you stay home. January makes this painfully obvious. More gym memberships are sold in January than any other month. Gyms budget for this, they staff for it, they wait for it, because they also know that within 6 weeks, attendance drops off a cliff. Around 80% of New Year's resolutions are abandoned by February. The treadmills empty out, the parking lot opens up, but the automatic payments keep going. You stayed motivated for 5 weeks, the gym collects your money for 12 months. So what actually stops people from canceling? 3 things, and none of them happen by accident. The first is friction. If canceling requires a physical trip to the gym, most people simply will not go. And here's the part gyms understand better than anyone. If you have not been going to the gym, you are certainly not going back just to announce your own defeat at the front desk. That conversation is emotionally exhausting, so you put it off. Another month passes, the gym charges you again. Every extra step between I want to cancel and I have canceled is worth real money to them. The second is guilt. You're already paying for something you're not using. Canceling makes the waste feel final. As long as the membership exists, there's a future version of you who might still go. Someone who wakes up early and actually wants to be there. Cancel it and that version disappears forever. So gyms are not really selling you gym access, they're selling you a monthly subscription to a better version of yourself, and that is very hard to give up. The third is the annual fee trap. Most gym contracts include a yearly maintenance fee, usually landing sometime in the spring, buried in the terms you signed but did not read. Try to cancel right before it hits, and you'll often find out you still owe it anyway. So you think, I might as well wait until after. Then another month passes, then another. The system is carefully designed so that the moment you decide to leave almost never lines up with the moment you're actually allowed to leave. By 2024, the FTC was receiving 70 complaints every single day about subscription cancellations. 70. That was nearly double the number from just 3 years earlier. The agency specifically called out gyms. They named Planet Fitness directly, and they finalized a rule called Click to Cancel, which requires businesses to make cancellation exactly as simple as sign-up. If you joined online, you cancel online. Same number of steps, no phone calls, no certified mail, no trips to the gym. It sounds like an obvious, basic consumer protection. The fact that it required a federal rule in 2024 tells you everything about how profitable the friction was. The rule faced immediate legal challenges. Business groups called it government overreach. The fitness industry testified against it, because what looks like a minor inconvenience to you is automatic recurring revenue to them. The FTC chair put it plainly. Companies shouldn't be able to trick you into paying for subscriptions you don't want. That sentence had to be written into federal law in 2024. Here's the part that should genuinely bother you. Gyms don't just benefit from your absence, they're structurally built around it. Planet Fitness, for example, built its entire brand around being welcoming and judgment-free, low prices, no pressure, pizza nights. That sounds generous, but what it means operationally is we want maximum signups and minimal actual attendance. The math only works that way. If every member showed up 4 times a week, the gym would need more equipment, more staff, more floor space. Expenses explode and the model breaks. But if the average member shows up once a month or shows up exactly once and quietly disappears, the gym collects the same fee at a fraction of the operating cost. Your guilt about not going, that's the margin. There's a name for this in business, passive revenue. And in the gym world, it's not a side effect of the model, it's the foundation. A gym needs a permanent underclass of paying non-members, people who signed up in January, drifted away in March, and never got around to canceling. They subsidize the infrastructure for everyone who actually shows up. The people lifting weights and running on treadmills are, in a strange way, being funded by the people sitting at home still paying for a membership they forgot about. Americans waste around $1.3 billion a year on memberships they never use. Not memberships they barely use, the ones they completely forgot about, still quietly billing month after month like a tax on a decision they made in a more optimistic moment. If you find this kind of thing interesting, the channel goes deep on exactly how industries like this are designed to work against you. Subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you catch the next one. Now, here's the honest part. The gym sold you something real. It sold you the feeling of deciding to change. That moment of walking in on January 2nd, scanning your card, thinking this time is different. That feeling was genuine. You paid for it once. The problem is you keep paying for it every month long after the feeling is gone. The gym is not in the fitness business, it's in the inertia business. It profits from the space between who you planned to be and who you actually turned out to be. And it has engineered every cancellation policy, every annual fee, every certified mail requirement, and every guilt trip specifically to keep that space open for as long as possible. The business model is not your laziness. The business model is your optimism, and they've been charging you for it on autopay. The hardest thing they ever designed is not a workout program, it's leaving.